here's why I made the Jenna Ortega 1 and 2 song. So it's December 2022, you know, I heard a lot about Wednesday when I was in school, back when I was, you know, a senior in school. Now your boy graduated. Anyway, it was December and everyone was talking about this new show called Wednesday. And I was like, Wednesday? What is Wednesday? See, I had no knowledge at all of what it was. I thought it was like a mystery show about killers or something. I don't know what. I don't remember. Keep in mind, this was in December of 2022. I had no clue. Anyway, even my mom and little brother were talking about this show. I was like, what is this show? What has to be going on in the show for everybody to be talking about? And even some of my best friends, DJ and Corey, are talking about this show. So I finally find out it's like a spin-off of the Addams Family, but in a show form. And it's all about Wednesday. Me, I'd never seen anything from the Addams Family. So I was like, I wasn't interested because I've never seen anything from that, you know, franchise. But when I tell you, my mom, my friends, everybody, my little brother was like, yo, you gotta watch this. This is good. I was like, I finally caved in. I was like, okay, all right, I gotta watch this. But even before me watching Wednesday, I had already seen the beautiful, the legendary Jenna Ortega. I seen her all over TikTok since October of 2022. Seeing edits of her from X, seeing edits of her from Wednesday. Keep in mind, not like the show when I'm talking about the one interview. This interview. But, you know, I've seen all these edits around, you know, I was like, okay, this woman's obviously beautiful. And then when I found out she was in the show, I was like, oh yeah, I gotta. But the craziest thing about this whole story is that I made Jenna Ortega 1 before I watched Wednesday. Oh my god, Sensei, are you serious? Yes, I made Jenna Ortega 1 before I had even put my eyes on Wednesday. She was everywhere at this point. I was like, okay, this woman is beautiful. I've seen some of the interviews that she was in. I was like, oh my god, she's kind of like, she's kind of, you know, capturing my heart. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not gonna front. So one night, it's like 1 or 2 in the morning, right? I'm sitting there already listening and making this one song, right? Let me feel on you. Let me touch on you. That song. And it's only when I was halfway making it, I was like, you know what? Let me change this to a Jenna Ortega song. So the Jenna Ortega ad-libs you hear in that song are actually mid or late into the whole production of the song. Jenna Ortega. So I'm finishing up the song, right? I'm finishing it up, right? It's done. Because I'm sitting there, I'm just freestyling and, you know, finishing it up, doing whatever. That same morning, I posted it. December 5th, 2022. That was the very first Jenna video I've ever done on the channel. And that was the first Jenna Ortega song. And believe it or not, that was 8 months ago. Damn. So I've been posting non-stop Jenna Ortega content for 8 months. And guess what? Your boy's not done, because I done made Jenna Ortega 2, Jenna 3, Jenna 4, Jenna 5, Jenna 6, Jenna 7, and 8. A lot of songs. And for the longest time, I've always had that melody in my head. Like that one. And the craziest thing is I've made that beat all the way in 2021. There's a first version of the beat that I loved, but I didn't use it only because of how the drums sounded to me. So I was like, it's good, but it's just missing that oomph, I meant. So I remade the beat and it sounds like this now. And I was like, oh yeah, I hit the jackpot. But the only thing I do like about the original version is the beginning, because there's a subtlety in the synth that goes, I don't know how to explain it. Let me just show you. I'm sure you heard it. It's just, it sounds more soft in the first version. And to sum it up, that's pretty much why I made Jenna Ortega 1. And now let's finally get to why I made Jenna Ortega 2. Now, arguably the best Jenna Ortega song I've ever made, Jenna Ortega 2. And this is going to be also another shocker. Once again, just like the first one, I hadn't even seen Wednesday. It was only after I made that song I started watching. Easily the most nostalgic song out of the bunch. I wasn't even planning on making another song. It's not until I made that beat. Oh my goodness. Fast forward around December 10th, that's when I made the iconic beat for Jenna Ortega 2. when I was making this beat, I originally didn't have the intention of this being a Jenna song. I was just making it that day, and little did I know, I made some magic. The simple melody with the marimba in the back, with the synths, the other added melodies, it was amazing. But when I tell you, as soon as I got that beat done, I had it unlisted on YouTube. I kid you not, I listened to it all day, and I wrote the first part of the chorus, which was got a new way expensive and I wrote that whole part. But when it came to the no run it, that was improvised. I did that when I was making the song, but the other part that I wrote was the why can't I, that part. So basically the song is a big freestyle and written. That made no sense. It's written and freestyle. Yeah. Oh, I almost forgot to say, I freestyled the part where it's the "you're so beautiful, baby." Yeah, you get the point. I literally have nothing else to say. That's really it. I made the songs because at the time I'd seen her everywhere and still do. I'm telling you, ever since Wednesday came out, I've been a fan. And don't come in the comments being like, you're supposed to be the biggest simp and you came out on Wednesday. You're lying. When Wednesday came out, I became a true fan, but I had always seen her around, but I never stuck around to look at anything she's did besides Iron Man 3. That's the first time I've seen her. But when Wednesday came out, I became a fan. Then I watched X, then I watched The Fallout, which both of those movies drew me even closer to her. Well, really The Fallout, not really X, but you know what I mean. I consider myself a true fan if I'm doing this, posting about her for 8 months. That sounds pretty valid to me. I can make a whole video on this alone, but for the most part, I'm done this video. Jenna captured my heart around the time I made Jenna 1 and Jenna 2, which drew me to make the next 14 songs is a crazy number, but when you make them into albums, it's really not that crazy. But anyways, I'm gonna let you go. I hope you enjoyed this video. Like, subscribe, send it to people that might like this type of content, you know what I mean? And with that being said, until later.